Act 2 of Cynthia's Revels, or The Fountain of Self-Love by Ben Jonson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1, The Court. Enter Cupid and Mercury, disguised as pages.
Why, this was most unexpectedly followed, my divine delicate Mercury, by the beard of Jove. Thou art a precious deity.
Nay, Cupid, leave to speak improperly. Since we are turned cracks, let's study to be like cracks, practise their language and behaviours, and not with a dead imitation. Act freely, carelessly, and capriciously, as if our veins ran with quicksilver, and not utter a phrase but what shall come forth steeped in the very brine of conceit, and sparkle like salt in fire.
That's not everyone's happiness, Hermes. Though you can presume upon the easiness and dexterity of your wit, you shall give me leave to be a little jealous of mine, and not desperately to hazard it after your capering humour.
Nay then, Cupid, I think we must have you hoodwinked again, for you are grown too provident since your eyes were at liberty.
Not so, Mercury. I am still blind Cupid to thee.
And what to the lady nymph you serve?
Troth, page, boy, and sirrah, these are all my titles.
Then thou hast not altered thy name with thy disguise?
Oh no, that had been supererogation. You shall never hear your courtier call but by one of these three.
Faith, then both our fortunes are the same.
Why, what parcel of man hast thou lighted on for a master?
Such a one as, before I began to decipher him, I dare not affirm to be anything less than a courtier. So much he is during this open time of revels, and would be longer, but that his means are to leave him shortly after. His name is Hedon, a gallant wholly consecrated to his pleasures.
Hedon? He uses much to my lady's chamber, I think.
How is she called? And then I can show thee.
Madame Philotia.
Oh, ay, he affects her very particularly indeed. These are his graces. He doth, besides me, keep a barber and a monkey. He has a rich wrought waistcoat to entertain his visitants in, with a cap almost suitable. His curtains and bedding are thought to be his own. His bathing tub is not suspected. He loves to have a fencer, a pedant, and a musician seen in his lodgings a mornings.
And not a poet?
Fie, no. Himself is a rhymer, and that's thought better than a poet. He is not lightly within his mercer, no, though he come when he takes physic, which is commonly after his play. He beats a tailor very well, but a stocking seller admirably, and so consequently any one he owes money to, that dares not resist him. He never makes general invitement, but against the publishing of a new suit. Marry, then you shall have more drawn to his lodging, than come to the launching of some 3 ships, especially if he be furnished with supplies for the retiring of his old wardrobe from pawn. If not, he does hire a stock of apparel, and some 40 or 50 pounds in gold, for that forenoon to show. He is thought a very necessary perfume for the presents, and for that only cause welcome thither. 6 milliners' shops afford you not the like scent. He courts ladies with how many great horse he has rid that morning, or how oft he has done the whole or half the pomade in a 7 night before, and sometimes ventures so far upon the virtue of his pomander that he dares tell 'em how many shirts he has sweat at tennis that week, but wisely conceals so many dozen of balls he is on that score. Here he comes, that is all this.
Enter Hayton, Anaides, and Jellia.
Boy,
Sir?
are any of the ladies in the presence?
None yet, sir.
Give me some gold. More.
Is that thy boy, Hedon?
Ay. What think'st thou of him?
I'd geld him. I warrant he has the philosopher's stone.
Well said, my good melancholy devil. Sarah, I have devised 1 or 2 of the prettiest oaths this morning in my bed as ever thou heardst, to protest withal in the presence.
Prithee, let's hear them.
Soft, thou'lt use them afore me.
No, damn me then. I have more oaths than I know how to utter by this air.
Faith, the one is by the tip of your ear, sweet lady. Is it not pretty and genteel?
Yes, for the person 'tis applied to, a lady. It should be light and—
Nay, the other is better, exceeds it much. The invention is farther fed too. By the white valley that lies between the Alpine hills of your bosom, I protest.
Well, you travelled for that, Hedon.
Ay, in a map, where his eyes were but blind guides to his understanding, it seems.
And then I have a salutation will nick all by this caper. Hey!
How is that?
You know I call Madame Philautia my honour, and she calls me her ambition. Now, when I meet her in the presence anon, I will come to her and say, Sweet Honour, I have hitherto contented my sense with the lilies of your hand, but now I will taste the roses of your lip, and withal kiss her. To which she cannot but blushing answer, Nay, now, you are too ambitious. And then do I reply, I cannot be too ambitious of honour, sweet lady. Wilt not be good?
Oh, assure your soul.
By heaven, I think 'twill be excellent, and a very politic achievement of a kiss.
I have thought upon one for Maria of a sudden too, if it take.
What is't, my dear invention?
Marry, I will come to her, and she always wears a muff, if you be remembered, and I will tell her, Madam, your whole self cannot but be perfectly wise, for your hands have wit enough to keep themselves warm.
There, before Jove, admirable.
Julia laughs.
Look, thy page takes it too. By Phoebus, my sweet facetious rascal, I could eat water gruel with thee a month for this jest, my dear rogue.
Oh, Hercules, 'tis your only dish. Above all your potatoes or oyster pies in the world.
I have ruminated upon a most rare wish too, and the prophecy to it, but I'll have some friend to be the prophet, as thus. I do wish myself one of my mistress's choppany. Another demands, why would he be one of his mistress's choppany? A third answers, because he would make her higher. A fourth shall say, that will make her proud. And a fifth shall conclude, then do I prophesy pride will have a fall, and he shall give it her.
I will be your prophet. God so, it will be most exquisite. Thou art a fine inventious rogue, sirrah.
Nay, and I have posies for rings too, and riddles that they dream not of.
Tut, they'll do that, when they come to sleep on them, time enough. But were thy devices never in the presence yet, Hedon?
Oh no, I disdain that.
'Twere good we went afore then, and brought them acquainted with the room where they shall act, lest the strangeness of it put them out of countenance when they should come forth.
Exeunt Haydn and Anaitis.
Is that a courtier too?
Troth, no. He has two essential parts of the courtier, pride and ignorance. Marry, the rest comes somewhat after the ordinary gallant. 'Tis impudence itself, Aeneades, one that speaks all that comes in his cheeks, and will blush no more than a sackbut. He lightly occupies the jester's room at the table, and keeps laughter, Cellalia, a wench in page's attire, following him in place of a squire, whom he now and then tickles with some strange ridiculous stuff, uttered as his land came to him by chance. He will censure or discourse of anything, but as absurdly as you would wish. His fashion is not to take knowledge of him that is beneath him in clothes. He never drinks below the salt. He does naturally admire his wit that wears gold lace or tissue, stabs any man that speaks more contemptibly of the scholar than he. He is a great proficient in all the illiberal sciences, as cheating, drinking, swaggering, whoring, and such like. Never kneels but to pledge healths, nor prays for a pipe of pudding tobacco. He will blasphemize in his shirt. The oath which he vomits at one supper would maintain a town of garrison in good swearing a 12-month. One other genuine quality he has which crowns all these, and that is this: to a friend in want he will not depart with the weight of a soldiered groat, lest the world might censure him prodigal, or report him a gull. Marry, to his cockatrice or poquetto, half a dozen taffeta gowns or satin quirls in a pair or two of months, why, they are nothing.
I commend him. He is one of my clients.
They retired to the back of the stage. Enter Amorphous, Asotus, and Cos.
Come, sir, you are now within regard of the presence, and see the privacy of this room, how sweetly it offers itself to our retired indentments. Page, cast a vigilant and inquiring eye about, that we be not rudely surprised by the approach of some ruder stranger.
I warrant you, sir, I'll tell you when the wolf enters. Fear nothing.
Oh, what a mass of benefit shall we possess in being the invisible spectators of this strange show now to be acted!
Plant yourselves there, sir, and observe me. You shall now as well be the ocular as the ear witness, how clearly I can repel that paradox, or rather pseudodox, of those which hold the face to be the index of the mind, which I assure you is not so in any politic creature. For instance, I will now give you the particular and distinct face of every your most noted species of persons, as your merchant, your scholar, your soldier, your lawyer, courtier, etc., and each of these so truly as you would swear, but that your eye shall see the variation of the lineament, it were my most proper and genuine aspect. First, for your merchant or city face, 'tis thus a dull plodding face, still looking in a direct line forward. There is no great matter in this face. Then have you your student's or academic's face, which is here an honest, simple, and methodical face, but somewhat more spread than the former. The third is your soldier's face, a menacing and astounding face, that looks broad and big. The grace of his face consisteth much in a beard. The antiface to this is your lawyer face, a contracted, subtile, and intricate face, full of quirks and turnings, a labyrinthian face, now angularly, now circularly, every way aspected. Next is your statist's face, a serious, solemn, and supercilious face, full of formal and square gravity, the eye for the most part deeply and artificially shadowed. There is great judgment required in the making of this face. But now, to come to your face of faces, or courtier's face, 'tis of three sorts, according to our subdivision of the courtier: elementary, practic, and theoretic. Your courtier theoretic is he that arrived to his farthest, and doth now know the court rather by speculation than practice, and this is his face, a fastidious and oblique face, that looks as it went the vice, and were screwed thus. Your courtier practic is he that is yet in his path, his course, his way, and hath not touched the punctilio or point of his hopes. His face is here, a most promising, open, smooth, and overflowing face, that seems as it would run and pour itself into you, somewhat a northerly face. Your courtier elementary is one but newly entered, or as it were in the alphabet, or ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, of courtship. Note well this face, for it is this you must practise.
I'll practise them all, if you please, sir.
Ay, hereafter you may, and it will not be altogether or ungrateful study. For let your soul be assured of this: in any rank or profession whatever, the more general or major part of opinion goes with the face, and simply respects nothing else. Therefore, if that can be made exactly, curiously, exquisitely, thoroughly, it is enough. For the present you shall only apply yourself to this face of the elementary courtier, a light, revelling, and protesting face, now blushing, now smiling, which you may help much with a wanton waking of your head. Thus, a feather will teach you, or with kissing your finger that hath the ruby, or playing with some string of your band, which is most quaint kind of melancholy besides, or, if among ladies, laughing loud and crying up to your own wit. though perhaps borrowed, it is not amiss. Where is your page? Call for your casting bottle, and place your mirror in your hat, as I told you so. Come, look not pale, observe me, set your face, and enter.
Mercury aside.
Oh, for some excellent painter to have taken the copy of all these faces!
Prosates.
Fie, I premonish you of that, in the court, boy, laque, or sirrah.
Master Lupus in O, 'tis Prosates.
Enter Prosates.
Sirrah, prepare my casting bottle. I think I must be enforced to purchase me another page. You see how at hand cost waits here.
Exeunt Amorphous, Asotus, Cos, and Prosates.
So will he too in time.
What's he, Mercury?
A notable smelt. One that hath newly entertained the beggar to follow him, but cannot get him to wait near enough. 'Tis Asotus, the heir of Philagarus. But first I'll give you the other's character, which may make his the clearer. He that is with him is Amorphous, a traveller, one so made out of the mixture of shreds of forms that himself is truly deformed. He walks most commonly with a clove or pick-tooth in his mouth. He is a very mint of compliment. All his behaviours are printed. His face is another volume of essays, and his beard is an Aristarchus. He speaks all cream-skimmed, and more affected than a dozen waiting women. He is his own promoter in every place. The wife of the ordinary gives him his diet to maintain her table in discourse, which, indeed, is a mere tyranny over her other guests, for he will usurp all the talk. 10 constables are not so tedious. He is no great shifter. Once a year his apparel is ready to revolt. He doth use much to arbitrate quarrels, and fights himself exceedingly well, out at a window. He will lie cheaper than any beggar, and louder than most clocks, for which he is right properly accommodated to the whetstone, his page. The other gallant is his zany, and doth most of these tricks after him. Sweats to imitate him in everything to a hair, except a beard, which is not yet extant. He doth learn to make strange sauces, to eat anchovies, macaroni, bovoli, fagioli, and caviare, because he loves them. Speaks as he speaks, looks, walks, goes so in clothes and fashion, is in all as if he were moulded of him. Marry, before they met, he had other very pretty sufficiencies, which yet he retained some light impression of, as frequenting a dancing school, and grievously torturing strangers with inquisition after his grace in his galliard. He buys a fresh acquaintance at any rate. His eyes and his raiment confer much together as he goes in the street. He treads nicely like the fellow that walks upon ropes, especially the first Sunday of his silk stockings, and when he is most neat and new, you shall strip him with commendations.
Here comes another.
Crites passes over the stage.
Ay, but one of another strain, Cupid. This fellow weighs somewhat.
His name, Hermes.
Critus, a creature of a most perfect and divine temper, one in whom the humours and elements are peaceably met, without emulation of precedency. He is neither too fantastically melancholy, too slowly phlegmatic, too lightly sanguine, or too rashly choleric, but in all so composed and ordered, as it is clear nature went about some full work she did more than make a man when she made him. His discourse is like his behaviour, uncommon, but not unpleasing. He is prodigal of neither. He strives rather to be that which men call judicious than to be thought so, and it is so truly learned that he affects not to show it. He will think and speak his thought both freely, but as distant from depraving another man's merit as proclaiming his own. For his valour 'tis such that he dares as little to offer any injury as receive one. In sum, he hath a most ingenuous and sweet spirit, a sharp and seasoned wit, a straight judgment, and a strong mind. Fortune could never break him, nor make him less. He counts it his pleasure to despise pleasures, and is more delighted with good deeds than goods. It is a competency to him that he can be virtuous. He doth neither covet nor fear. He hath too much reason to do either, and that commends all things to him.
Not better than Mercury commends him.
Oh, Cupid, 'tis beyond my deity to give him his due praises. I could leave my place in heaven to live among mortals were I so sure to be no other than he.
Slight, I believe he is your minion. You seem to be so ravished with him.
He's one I would not have a wry thought darted against willingly.
No, but a straight shaft in his bosom I'll promise him if I am Cytherea's son.
Shall we go, Cupid?
Stay, and see the ladies now. They'll come presently. I'll help to paint them.
What, lay colour upon colour? That affords but an ill blazon.
Here comes Metal to help it, the Lady Argerian.
Agurion passes over the stage.
Money, money.
The same. A nymph of a most wandering and giddy disposition. Humorous as the air, she'll run from gallant to gallant as they sit at primero in the presence, most strangely, and seldom stays with any. She spreads as she goes. Today you shall have her look as clear and fresh as the morning, and tomorrow as melancholic as midnight. She takes special pleasure in a close obscure lodging, and for that cause visits the city so often, where she has many secret, true, concealing favourites. When she comes abroad, she's more loose and scattering than dust, and will fly from place to place, as she were wrapped with a whirlwind. Your young student, for the most part, she affects not, only salutes him and away. A poet, nor a philosopher, she is hardly brought to take any notice of, no, though he be some part of an alchemist. She loves a player well, and a lawyer infinitely, but your fool above all. She can do much in court for the obtaining of any suit whatsoever. No door but flies open to her. Her presence is above a charm. The worst in her is want of keeping state, and too much descending into inferior and base offices. She's for any coarse employment you will put upon her, as to be your procurer or pander.
Peace, Cupid. Here comes more work for you, another character or two.
Enter Fantaste, Moria, and Philautia.
Stay, sweet Philautia. I'll but change my fan, and go presently.
Now, in very good serious, ladies, I will have this order reversed. The presents must be better maintained from you. 11:15, and now a nymph in perspective. Beshrew my hand, there must be a reformed discipline. Is that your new ruff, sweet ladybird? By my troth, 'tis most intricately rare.
Good Jove! What reverend gentlewoman in years might this be?
'Tis Madame Moria, guardian of the nymphs. One that is not now to be persuaded of her wit, she will think herself wise against all the judgments that come. A lady made all of voice and air, talks anything of anything. She is like one of your ignorant poetasters of the time, who, when they have got acquainted with a strange word, never rest till they have wrung it in, even though it loosen the whole fabric of their sense.
That was pretty and sharply noted, Cupid.
She will tell you, philosophy was a fine reveller when she was young, and a gallant, and that then, though she say it, she was thought to be the Dame Dido and Helen of the court, as also what a sweet dog she had this time 4 years, and how it was called Fortune, and that, if the fates had not cut his thread, he had been a dog to have given entertainment to any gallant in this kingdom, and unless she had whelped it herself, she could not have loved a thing better in this world.
Oh, I prithee no more. I am full of her.
Yes, I must needs tell you she composes a sack posset well, and would court a young page sweetly, but that her breath is against it.
Oh, now her breath, or something more strong, protect me from her. The other Cupid.
Oh, that's my lady and mistress, Madame Philautia. She admires not herself for any one particularity, but for all. She is fair, and she knows it. She has a pretty light wit, too, and she knows it. She can dance, and she knows that, too. Play at shuttlecock, and that, too. No quality she has, but she shall take a very particular knowledge of, and most ladylike commend it to you. You shall have her at any time read you the history of herself, and very subtly run over another lady's sufficiencies to come to her own. She has a good superficial judgment in painting, and would seem to have so in poetry. A most complete lady, in the opinion of some three beside herself.
Faith, how liked you my quip to Hedon about the garter? Was't not witty?
Exceedingly witty and integrate. You did so aggravate the jester withal.
And did I not dance movingly the last night?
Movingly? Out of measure, in troth, sweet charge.
A happy commendation to dance out of measure.
Save only you wanted the swim in the turn. Oh, when I was at 14.
Nay, that's mine own from any nymph in the court, I'm sure on't. Therefore you mistake me in that, guardian. Both the swim and the trip are properly mine. Everybody will affirm it that has any judgment in dancing, I assure you.
Come now, Philautia, I am for you. Shall we go?
Ay, good Fantasti. What, have you changed your head tire?
Yes, Faith. The other was so near the common, it had no extraordinary grace. Besides, I had worn it almost a day in good troth.
I'll be sworn this is most excellent for the device, and rare. 'Tis after the Italian print we looked on the other night.
'Tis so. By this fan I cannot abide anything that savours the poor overworn cut that has any kindred with it. I must have variety, This mixing in fashion, I hate it worse than to burn juniper in my chamber, I protest.
And yet we cannot have a new peculiar court tire, but these retainers will have it. These suburb Sunday waiters, these courtiers for high days. I know not what I should call them.
Oh, they do most pitifully imitate. But I have a tire a-coming, in faith shall.
In good certain, madam. It makes you look most heavenly. But lay your hand on your heart. You never skinned a new beauty more prosperously in your life, nor more metaphysically. Look good, lady, sweet lady, look.
'Tis very clear and well, believe me. But if you had seen mine yesterday, when 'twas young, you would have. Who's your doctor, Fantast?
Nay, that's counsel, Philautia. You shall pardon me. Yet I'll assure you he's the most dainty, sweet, absolute, rare man of the whole college. Oh, his very looks, his discourse, his behaviour, all he does is physic, I protest.
For heaven's sake, his name, good dear Fantast.
No. Believe me, not for a millions of heavens. I will not make him cheap, fie.
Exeunt Fantaste, Moria, and Philautia.
There is a nymph, too, of a most curious and elaborate strain, light, all motion, and ubiquitary. She is everywhere, Fantaste.
Her very name speaks her. Let her pass. But are these, Cupid, the stars of Cynthia's court? Do these nymphs attend upon Diana?
They are in her court, Mercury, but not as stars. These never come in the presence of Cynthia. The nymphs that make her train are the divine Arete, Time, Phronesis, Thoma, and others of that high sort. These are privately brought in by Moria in this licentious time, against her knowledge, and, like so many meteors, will vanish when she appears.
Enter Procertes singing, followed by Jalea and Caz with bottles.
Come follow me, my wags, and say as I say. There's no riches but in rags, heyday, heyday. You that profess this art, come away, and help to bear a part, heyday, heyday.
Mercury and Cupid come forward.
What, those that were our fellow pages but now so soon preferred to be yeomen of the bottles? The mystery, good wags.
Some diet drink they have the guard of.
No, sir, we are going in quest of a strange fountain, lately found out.
By whom?
My master, or the great discoverer, amorphous.
Thou hast well entitled him, coz, for he will discover all he knows.
Ay, and a little more too, when the spirit is upon him.
Oh, the good travelling gentleman yonder has caused such a drought in the presence, with reporting the wonders of this new water, that all the ladies and gallants lie languishing upon the rushes, like so many pounded cattle in the midst of harvest, sighing to one another, and gasping, as if each of them expected a cock from the fountain to be brought into his mouth. And without we return quickly, they are all, as a youth would say, no better than a few trout cast ashore, or a dish of eels in a sandbag.
Well, then, you were best dispatch, and have a care of them. Come, Cupid, thou and I'll go peruse this dry wonder.
Exeunt. End of Act 2.